Welcome to the Friendly Nonsense Beatdown. This is a podcast all about friendly fire and gibberish, where three brothers compete in a quest to be the supremeliest nonsenser. Here are your hosts, Kevin, Corey, and Casey Walker.
Welcome to the Friendly Nonsense Beatdown. This week is slightly different than other weeks because we are all on vacation or doing something with work or whatever. We've set this podcast aside in the wings just for such an occasion as this, so that when Corey's doing his finals, or I'm dealing with some work event, or Casey's dealing with some work event, we can have some fresh content still cooked up for you. So this is actually partly from our original podcast, the very first test podcast that we ever did. And we've got some great content from that one that I think you'll enjoy. And then another one from when we were first trying to work on the video aspect of the podcast. And unfortunately, the audio was not recorded correctly, but we were able to grab portions that we really enjoyed from that one as well. So I will make a few commentary points throughout the podcast episode just to point out what this is. But starting off, this is our first question that we ever had posed to us for the very first episode of the Friendly Nonsense Beatdown that has not been released and will never be released, but you'll get to hear a portion of it right now. Here you go.
What's your most embarrassing memory you have, Corey?
So mine, I was thinking through this, and the thing that kept popping up in my mind was one time, maybe 7 years ago, it was shortly after Kevin, you and Amy got engaged. I was standing in the kitchen one day, and Amy, so my soon-to-be sister-in-law, comes into the kitchen, and it was a summer day. And if any of you have ever been in California during the summer, it gets up to 100, 110 here. And so Amy comes in, she's just pouring sweat. And so there were a bunch of other people standing around in the kitchen, and Amy comes in, she says, I'm just so warm. I just can't stop sweating. And I looked at her, I'm like, oh yeah, you look hot. And then after that, I'm like, what did I just say?
Did she give you a hard time about it?
Oh, well, she sort of looked up at me, and I looked back at her. And both sort of had this look of, oh, we can't say anything. I wonder if any of these other people here noticed. Just act cool, just go through it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I wish there was a way to say that you look hot in a totally platonic way.
Yeah, not today's
like you look literally hot.
That's fantastic. Probably in those days, it would. I used to be ultra jealous, and if I'd heard you say that, I've been like, "What are you doing, boy? This is my girl." So you would have not only gotten the awkward look from me, you would have gotten the beat down look from Chabro. But that's fantastic. That's awesome. All right, Case, go ahead.
Oh man. Okay, here goes. Oh man. So this was about I want to say 15 years ago, or maybe not that. No, I was probably too old to be doing this. So I had this crush on a girl, but I didn't get to see her very often. So we were at this event where this girl was, and I really, really wanted to get her attention. But what was the closest thing at hand to get to my attention? Well, in my brilliant preteen mind, the best way to get her attention was using my nephew who I was holding at the time. I used to I used him as a battering ram.
Oh my God.
I want to stress the fact that my nephew is doing fine. He is fine. He didn't get hurt. He was actually smiling after I used his poor head as a battering ram to get.
Wait, so you rammed him into her?
Yes.
I thought you were like clearing the crowd, you were like ramming to get to her. So you like smashed him into her. That's fantastic.
Hey, girl.
Awesome. Oh man.
Oh boy.
All of our embarrassing moments are with girls. Mine ironically, was with Amy too. When before we were engaged, I was headed to a softball game of our dad's, and we worked together. Amy and I did, and that's how we first got together. I always joke around. She was my boss. She was the office manager, and I was the sales guy at this company we were working at. And I went, and we decided we were going to grab dinner before the softball game. And for those that don't know, Amy's 6 years older than me. So she has no interest in this little baby boy who's only 18. I had a crush on her. So we go into Chipotle, and I offer to buy her burrito, and I buy her a burrito, and I eat my burrito. And I could not, for the life of me, I was so nervous. I was sitting there like trying to eat my burrito, and I took like one bite, and she's looking at me like, this guy is so weird. And we get out, and I never let her live this down to this day, but it was so embarrassing at the moment. She looks at me, and she's like, hey, Kev, you okay? Do you have a weak constitution? And I was just like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I was just a little sick today. Just catch me. It was so embarrassing. I'm just like wilting under her gaze. She's staring at me like, this kid is so weird. And we ended up getting married after this, but it was not a good first start. Our first quote unquote date. Those are the embarrassing memories, all the fantastic ones. Case, yours is fantastic. That's fantastic.
Oh man, it's still to this day, man. I don't even know if they remember, if our sister remembers. Heather, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I know he's fine.
He probably has a concussion from that.
No, he was good. He's okay. He was fine. He was smiling afterwards.
So some of our obvious, most embarrassing moments right there. And that was from the very first episode we ever tried to produce. And we had some funny moments. That was one of them. We've got one other funny one with the final nonsense beatdown coming up here in a minute. But before that, I wanted to show you a portion of our first video podcast that unfortunately was botched by me because I didn't record the audio properly. But we were able to snag a little bit of it that came through and hopefully enjoy. Here we go. So here we go. We're going to move on to lions, tigers, and snares. Oh my! So here we go. Lions, tigers, and snares, for those of you that don't know, is you come up with two lies and a truth. Yes. And your goal is to find the lie. So you have to have a very outlandish lie and two equally outlandish truths to try to fool everybody.
You have it backwards. There's one truth, two lies.
Oh, yes, I keep on saying that. Yes, yeah. One truth, two lies. Yes, you have to try to find the truth, not the lie. All right,
now that we've got that all situated.
Yes. It has been a long week. What can I say? All right, here we go. So, we need to record this on a Monday next time. It's the beginning of the week, and we're rested up. Not on a Thursday and a Friday. It's the end of the week. My brain's shutting down here.
We're letting out trade secrets here. People are knowing when we're recording this.
Don't say anything.
We recorded this on a Thursday.
Whatever day it was. All right, here we go. Lions, tigers, and snares. Oh my. So, here we go. I'm going to start. We're going to go age order, okay?
All right.
Listen up. This is Majesty. Going to talk about a little history. The first type of ice cream was said to have been invented in 804, excuse me, when an Olympic athlete was given chocolate-flavored ice cream as a tasty reprieve from running. Okay? That's number one. Number two, the biggest ice cream sundae was created in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, in 1988, weighing 24 tons, more than 12 cars worth of ice cream.
Oh.
Okay, isn't that insane?
That is
Milk-based ice cream wasn't actually invented until the 1500s when an Italian chemist was drinking a glass of milk that had been slightly frozen and then developed a vanilla flavor for it. Okay, so there's your three. Speculate.
I think the third one is completely bogus.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's called ice cream for a reason.
What was the second one? How big did that thing get?
It got to 24 tons, 12 cars worth of ice cream.
And then what was the first one exactly? It was about
The first
A guy
type of
running?
ice cream was said to have been invented in 804 when an Olympic athlete was given chocolate flavored ice as a tasty reprieve from running.
I'm gonna say
I-
that one.
I think Edmonton. I think the Edmonton Sunday is the one.
Okay, Corey.
I'm gonna say the Olympic one. I don't know if they would have had chocolate back then, but that one
In 804?
That one sounds well in that area. So I'll still go ahead and say that though.
You realize that the Olympics are all over the place
The Olympics started.
in Greece,
In
but this
Greece.
is 804.
Yeah.
They didn't exist in 804.
804
They didn't exist
is
in
still
804.
time of
There's-
the Romans.
There is a large gap. So file this. I'm pretty sure I remember when the Olympics started up again. They started up in 1896, and the last time it was held before then was ancient Greece, I think.
Well, you are very smart, Casey Walker, because you are correct that it is Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, is the largest ice cream ever invented. So 12 cars worth of ice cream, 24 tons.
That's
That
a
is
ton of
large
ice cream.
Ice cream.
I wasn't thinking that one could be real because I was trying to think, how would you actually produce that? That is
I have
pretty
no idea.
impressive.
Dude, well, in winter, Edmonton is basically freezing all year round.
That is true. That is true.
So
or not
in-
all
in-
year round,
to the
but all
point of
winter long.
To the point of ice cream, too. It was not ice cream to begin with. Ice cream was invented as flavored ice. Isn't that weird? So it was actually flavored ice. the very first thing.
Was it called ice cream?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was ice cream.
Oh,
But that was the first iteration of ice cream. That was what created ice cream.
I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide.
Not the Edmonton, Alberta one. It wasn't flavored ice. That wasn't a lie.
Oh,
That's
that's
true.
what I thought you were talking about.
No, I'm saying
The
the
24
original.
tons.
The original
okay.
flavored ice.
God, I thought you were saying the only reason they made it 24 tons was because it was flavored ice,
No.
not ice
No,
cream.
no.
Okay,
No,
All
it was
right.
ice cream.
I'll forgive you.
Thank you. Go.
Okay, so my theme this time is height. Okay, true fact number one. At the age of 5, Robert Wadlow was 5 feet 4 inches tall and grew to be the tallest man ever recorded at 8 feet 11.1 inches tall.
At what age? He was what?
At the age of 5.
He was 5 feet how big?
5 feet 4 inches tall. Second true fact. The largest earthworm recorded was found in Australia and measured a whopping 8 feet 11.1 inches long. True fact number 3. The largest nest ever found was made by a Bayard weaver bird and measured 8 feet 11.1 inches in height.
What was
8
the second
feet?
one?
Oh, man.
The largest earthworm
Oh,
was found in Australia and was 8 feet 11.1 inches long.
I'll let Kevin think this. I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this one. I think my my Wikipedia browsing tendencies.
Your Reddit, you're diving deep into
yeah.
Reddit.
By diving deep into Wikipedia, have you ever gone into Wikipedia and like you start on one article, you read about it, and then you're like, oh, that sounds interesting. Click another link, and then 3 hours later, you're like reading about the syntax of Java programming or something like that?
I've never caught myself looking at the syntax of Java programming. I'll tell you that for a fact.
interesting.
I wonder what the syntax of Java programming looks like. Let me go look at Wikipedia.
Well, you don't go to
that's what it
Wikipedia
is.
looking for
I
that, but
never
you end up
noticed.
there after 3 hours.
I started looking up the capital of Switzerland.
It then brought me into the Java syntax. How did that happen? How did I get here? Where am I? What am I? Who am I?
I just couldn't stop reading. It was such a gripping story.
It just kept dragging me deeper.
Oh
All right, so it's got to be the earthworm. I think I've heard that before. That's a. Wait, you said it. That's a long earthworm. I was looking at Casey. The long earthworm, Casey. It's a long earthworm, Corey.
It's 100% Robert Wadlow. Final answer.
Well, Casey got it right.
What?
this time.
Seriously? He was
Yeah.
that tall at age 5?
So
I know
at,
the name Robert Wadlow, but I couldn't believe that he would be that tall at age 5.
Yep, at the age of 5, he was 5 feet 4 inches tall. And
That's
he
almost
ended
as
up
tall
dying
as
in his
me.
20s. He had this unique disorder to where he was constantly growing. It was like the human growth hormone was just on overload all the time. So
That's crazy.
I feel bad for him because I know he had a lot of health problems too,
Yeah.
with his feet and everything.
That's miserable. It's got to be tough, but man, 5 feet.
yeah.
4. That's taller than Amy is at age 5. Wow. That's crazy. All right, Case, go for it, dude.
All right, mine is about ships. All right. During World War II, a destroyer named the USS Porter nearly sunk a battleship which held President Franklin D. Roosevelt by accidentally discharging a live torpedo during a torpedo drill. Thankfully, the ship containing the president was able to evade the torpedo and avoid catastrophic damage.
I like that last sentence. Was able to avoid catastrophic damage.
Okay,
All right, true fact number 2. Did you have a question before I go on, Kevin?
Nope. I will
Okay.
have a comment at the end.
True fact number 2. The first cruise ship ever built, a Spanish ship named the SS Augusta Victoria, was made famous by artist Salvador Dali, who painted his work Sentimental Colloquy while on the vessel. Unfortunately for Dali, this piece was panned by the critics and now hangs in the Metropolitan Museum of Art.
These are all very elaborate.
All right, true fact number 3. U.S. Naval Commander John Paul Jones, who served as captain of the USS Ranger during the American War for Independence, became a household name when he was accused of piracy for attacking a Dutch ship off the coast of England. It was later discovered that the Dutch ship was carrying 30,000 rounds of ammunition for the British, which Jones delivered to the bullet-needy states.
I thought you were going to go into... When you first said it, you're like, this is about chips. And then you started talking about World War II, and I was like, oh, ships. Not chips.
Ships.
I was like, tortilla chips? How many chip packs could he find?
Relationships.
The first round tortilla chip.
So, the very first one... Say the very first one again.
That was the President torpedo.
Yeah, there's no way.
Test.
That's right. There's no way you can evade a torpedo after it's launched in a ship, unless you're in a speedboat. A ship can't evade a torpedo. That's a battleship. There's no maneuverability, so that's false. The second one I think is true. No,
Salvador Dali on
I
the,
know.
on
I
the
can't.
cruise ship.
I'm gonna say the third one. I'm gonna say John Paul Jones one.
I on that one too. I was waiting for the USS Enterprise. These are the voyages. I'm
Go
gonna stick with the
boldly, where
second
no
one.
man has gone.
I think Corey's right, actually. I think Corey's right, but I'm going to go with Salvador Dali still.
So-
I think that's...
So you think 3 is right, but you'll go with 2.
Yeah, I will go with 2.
Well, you are both wrong. It's the torpedo.
What? No.
Okay.
There's no way you can evade.
Okay. I found this. I need to take a second to tell you a little bit about this ship because it's kind of sad and hilarious at the same time. So the USS Porter was going to meet the president in Virginia, and when it left the port, the first thing that it did is it didn't pull the anchor up all the way, and it tore apart another ship as it was leaving port.
What a doink!
Yeah,
Who's
and
the
then
captain of the ship?
and then after that, they went and met the president in the other ship, and while it was by the other ship, it accidentally dropped a depth charge, which is like one of those underwater bombs,
Yes.
and it exploded.
Who on earth is piloting this thing?
And then after that, the president's ship called the Iowa was conducting an anti-aircraft drill, and then the president asked for them to demonstrate a torpedo drill by simulating a launch at the Iowa, but instead of shooting a blank, they shot an actual torpedo, and so the porter's trying to signal to the Iowa that the torpedo is coming towards them, right? But the porter was under orders to maintain radio silence, so they couldn't get on the radio. So they're using a signal lamp. They're using a signal lamp and trying to tell them that this torpedo is coming.
When was this? Torpedo coming. Torpedo
This is
coming.
this is during World War II. This is 1943.
Oh my
So
goodness.
so they're signaling that this torpedo is coming, and they mess up, and they instead tell the Iowa that they're backing up, that their ship is backing up. So they ended up having to break radio silence and tell them that the torpedo was coming. They were able to evade the torpedo. Thankfully, FDR survived. But the Iowa trained their guns on the porter because they thought that it was related in some sort of assassination plot.
Oh no.
But no, it was
crazy.
just gross
They're like, oh,
incompetence.
the Russians took over, or
So-
the Germans took over. And had to blow it
Yeah.
out of the water.
Yeah,
So there you have it.
That's a pretty slow torpedo there.
Yeah. Well, they were I think they were like 2 miles apart or something like that. I'm not sure how far apart they were, but they were not like right next to each other.
Yeah. Well, that's even more
But yeah.
impressive that they were using a lamp to signal.
So there you have it.
Fantastic. All right, we are coming up to Casey's favorite segment. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh boy. Okay, I prepared for it this time, so I am
Casey,
ready.
you're prepared. You
I'm
get to
ready.
launch us on
All right.
that
That way-
fantastic segment.
That way I can't laugh you into silence.
Yes, I was listening to that one again.
Well, you don't
today,
have to
and that
laugh
was-
me into silence. I'm already silent on these ones.
10 seconds later, what?
What would you do, Casey? Go.
You've been shot. Executed and excommunicated. All right, so Casey, you are a guest on a talk show promoting your new fashion item, knee scarves. Go.
All right, I'd like to ask everyone listening, what part of the body do you find getting cold during the wintertime? Obviously knees, right? Right?
Absolutely.
right.
Well, I have the product for you. Knee scarves. That's right. Knee scarves. Are your knees cold?
Yes!
Knee scarves. Did you spill ketchup on your knees? Well, no need to worry. Knee scarves are there to save the day. Are you a construction worker struggling with the difficulty of kneeling on the ground while installing electrical outlets? Knee scarves. There isn't anything they can't do. Now available in the glorious shades of chartreuse, fuchsia, and striped chartreuse and fuchsia. Yours for the low price of $18.47.
Oh, Casey, you nailed that out of the park, home run. That made up for every other one that you got executed and excommunicated on. That was absolutely brilliant.
All
I
it
loved
took
that.
was for me to write down my script here.
That was fantastic. That was brilliant.
Those colors were good.
I'm gonna go because I didn't write down mine. I do better off the cuff. Thank you so much for having me on your talk show. I'm so excited to be here. I wanted to show you this new product that I have. It's called knee scarves. Now, knee scarves are the newest and latest hit. Kane West is using them. Did you know that Kane West is using them? Taylor Swift, too. They love knee scarves. Come on out here, Kane. Look at his knee scarf. Knee scarves are the greatest thing since sliced bread because they keep your knees warm. If you've ever fallen and you scrape your knee, no worries anymore. Knee scarves are there. Knee scarves are amazing. The end.
Will they work on my dog?
Knee scarves work on any animal with knees. So absolutely.
What
Dogs
color?
Included. What color? They come in every
Chartreuse.
color. Yeah, so chartreuse, fuchsia, and chartreuse, fuchsia, bing bong. I don't remember. So that's my prepared, non-prepared statement. Let's go for it, Corby.
All right. Well, I have to use my talk show voice. Well, thanks, Reginald. When our creative team came to me with the idea of knee scarves, I was honestly skeptical. But I'm telling you, I'm now a huge fan. What many people don't realize is that the knee area is the first part of the pant leg to wear through. So knees are understandably the first thing to get cold, as Casey so kindly stated earlier. Now, we wanted to remedy that problem. So we have several models here. We've got warm woolen models that are not only functional but stylish, and we've developed several other linen lines for summer wear. So believe me, you need to try this. But most of all, I love the name that our marketing team came up with. This. I just think it's a knock out of the park. It's called Scarvies.
Scarvies?
Scarvies. Scarvies.
Yeah, it's a mixture of scarves and knees. Scarve ease.
Go out and buy scarvies today.
Arg.
Scarvies.
Scarvies for pirates.
Scarvies for breakfast.
See, I should have done my... See, if I had known the name, I would have done my pitch in a pirate voice.
Maybe.
What's the first part of the body that you find getting cold during the wintertime? Obviously the knees, right?
My kneecaps. Yeah.
My kneecaps, sir.
Knee scarves are patent pending until further notice. But that was from our first video podcast. This last bit is from our original podcast that we ever recorded. It's the first friendly nonsense beatdown that we ever had done. It was probably one of our favorites, ironically. The whole podcast for the beginning of it wasn't our favorite, but this last bit was definitely a gem amongst everything. And so hopefully you enjoy our very first and the last part of this episode, Friendly Nonsense Beatdown.
The Friendly Nonsense Beatdown. So what this is for every podcast episode, we're going to be releasing this hopefully on Sunday or Monday of every week. For the Friendly Nonsense Beatdown, the title of this podcast, what we do is we have to have something that we have to find the best or worst of. And we have to argue for our animal or object or thing or whatever it is, that ours is the best or the worst of it. So this week, the argument is land animal that would win in an ocean fight. So how this is going to go is each of us is going to say what the animal is, and then we have an opening argument. We're all going to go through our opening argument. Then we have a chance to rebut against the other person's argument, the other brother's arguments. And then we have a closing statement of why our land animal would totally win in an ocean battle. So, Casey, I'm going to let you go first. Go ahead and give us your animal and then give us your opening argument.
All right. Seals. How's
Seal,
that?
okay.
A
I feel like
leopard seal,
I feel like you're trying to exploit the loophole again, because I feel like a seal is almost an ocean animal.
Okay, well, how are we going to do this then? Are we saying animals that live a good part of their life in the water are off the table? Like it has to be a strict land animal?
Yes.
Okay. Then I'm going to go giraffes.
Wow, okay. We pivoted big time here. Seal to a giraffe. We went from the fattest animal on Earth to the longest animal on Earth. All right, so tell us why giraffes are the best fighters in the ocean.
Okay. One word. Survival. That long neck is like a periscope on a submarine. You can push that giraffe down to where it's like a cork in the water. You push down a cork so far, it starts to bob back up. Well, a giraffe, you can only push so far. You're not going to get it below its head. Its head is always going to be above the water. And then it can use those long legs to kick you in the face.
Okay, I have to say that was actually a pretty good animal. I was not expecting a giraffe. I don't think Corey was either.
Nope.
I was expecting a hippo or something like that. All right, here we go. My animal, you guys are going to be totally taken aback by this one too, is a sloth.
What?
Yeah, hear me out. I will give you the best argument for why my sloth is going to kill your giraffe in the ocean. So a sloth is the slowest creature on the planet, right? It's slow as molasses. But I read, and when I was doing research on this, a sloth can swim 3 times faster than it can move on land. Now, granted, it doesn't move very fast on land, but it can swim 3 times faster.
That's a great reason to choose.
So here's my thinking. My sloth, you guys are going to be fighting. You can barely see my sloth. I'm sure Corey has a big animal too. You guys are going to be fighting because you guys can like beat each other up in the water. Giraffe goes against Corey's animal. But my sloth is like banking his way along. He's got those long claws. And then all of a sudden it's like slash on Casey's giraffe. Slash on Corey's other animal. That's all you need. Super fast swimmer with claws. Sloth.
Weird flex, but okay.
So I'm assuming for this, a saltwater crocodile does not count.
No, that does not count. Saltwater crocodile.
That was my first choice. I like saltwater crocodiles. So my second choice is an anaconda. And anacondas, I mean, they can swim in the water. If you go down to the bayous in Florida, you may see one swimming around eating up the saltwater crocodiles or other animals. I mean, they're native to South America, where there are lots of other big ferocious cats that they've still won in battles. These anacondas have won. So I'm going to go with the anaconda.
Have you ever seen it eat a sloth in water?
Have I personally ever seen it?
Have you ever seen it eat a sloth?
I have never personally seen an anaconda.
So you don't know it would beat the sloth, do you?
Have you ever seen a sloth swimming in the ocean?
I will soon once our animals fight each other in the ocean. All right, so Casey, you get the first chance for rebuttal. Go.
All right. First of all, sloths, seriously. A sloth swimming 3 times, 4 times, even 10 times as fast as its normal moving speed is moving slower than a grandma in a wheelchair. I'm sorry. A sloth is not going to do anything against my giraffe. My giraffe will kick the sloth down and the sloth will drown because the sloth will be like 20 feet under the ground, under the water, not under the ground, under the water, and it can't swim up in time to get a breath. Done. Anacondas aren't long enough to get around my giraffe. My giraffe's neck is so incredibly long.
Okay, is that your rebuttal?
That's it.
All right. I'm just judging by this immediately. I think Corey's going to win. Okay, so sloth. Casey, a sloth cannot move? No, I just told you it can move 3 times faster in water. And what it's going to do is it's going to hang itself on your giraffe's neck and choke you out. It's going to be like, wrap its little claws. It's going to swim for your giraffe. It'll look all cute. People want sloths as pets. Your giraffe is going to be like, oh, what a cute little sloth. I would love to take him home as a pet. And then it's like, ah! Right around your neck, he hangs on for dear life and chokes you out. And then your giraffe is dead in the ocean. Corey, anaconda, he won't even see my sloth. My sloth is so small. like I said before, you're going to be trying to choke the giraffe out. My sloth will come around to the anaconda. Hello, my cute little sloth. Hello. Poke its little claw into your eyeballs, and then you're dead. Done.
Well, I don't know if I have to give much of a rebuttal here since it seems so obvious.
Oh, brother.
An anaconda. There have been anacondas measured at 29 feet long. So, Casey, unless your giraffe needs to seriously go on a diet, I don't think it's going to have a problem wrapping around the giraffe's neck.
Oh, come on. Have you seen a giraffe?
Yeah, they're not 29 feet in circumference of the neck.
Well, my giraffe is like the Arnold Schwarzenegger giraffe.
He works out. He's pumped up.
I mean, with the anaconda, with my 29-foot anaconda, he can be constricting around the giraffe's neck and find that sloth whenever he arrives. He can choke him out at the same time if need be. You guys don't stand a chance.
Since you have this anaconda, Corey, we're gonna go snake draft or snake style here. We're gonna go backwards from you now for closing statements. So give your closing statement.
My closing statement is anacondas already beat most of the ferocious animals in the world whenever they get in fights. So it can definitely beat a little periscope giraffe, even if it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. And it can beat a little sloth that wants to try and poke its eyes. I mean, it's not even going to find its eyes. So anacondas, by far, best animal out there to win an ocean battle.
Okay, so sloth. Here's my reasoning behind it again. A sloth is small, a sloth is cute, and a sloth moves very fast in the water. A sloth will come and it'll pretend to be your best buddy and snuggle up, and it'll poke you when you least expect it. Done.
What giraffes lack in ferocity, they more than make up in heart and grit. That's all.
Heart and grit and girth.
Yes. And Arnold Schwarzenegger muscles.
Yes. Those legs are going to pump you up.
So there you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed some of our original content that didn't make it through production. But we will be back next week with a new podcast episode every Tuesday at 7 a.m. Eastern and 4 a.m. Pacific time. And Bro-Delog on every Friday at the same exact times. And we will plan to see you there. Take care.